Hello, a day with Caleb. We are doing, yes, another movie review. You might guess by my shirt, and you've probably seen the title by now. We are reviewing Spider-Man Homecoming, my most watched Spider-Man film, and part of me wants to say my favorite. It probably is my favorite Spider-Man film. Uh, the first two Spider-Man films were they are my childhood. Sam Raimi, uh, Kirsten Dunst, who's like my childhood crush. I've always had a crush on her since Small Soldiers. She was MJ. There was just a great cast. Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead would make these cool cameos. Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. And I've talked about this before. The first Spider-Man I watched in theaters, probably like second or third week. I didn't go opening weekend. I was like 12, but when the day it came out on VHS, yes, VHS, I bought it and had a watch party with a bunch of my friends, and we had little contests, Spider-Man trivia. Most of the friends back then I knew were not comic aficionados, so the one guy that knew comic stuff got most of it. Later on, I would meet my bro Mark, who's like a comic book genius. I go to him for my comic knowledge needs. But anyway, so those two hold a special place in my heart. In Spider-Man 3, we were in a mall in Virginia or Pennsylvania, maybe, and there was like a little tech, like studio, not like a movie studio, but they were kind of representing movie studios, and they would play these trailers, unfinished trailers, to get normal people's reactions. And I was feeling great that day. In the vending machines of soda, like Coke machines, you could get enough out to where you could get these empty bottles filled with gifts. I got like a Sprite t-shirt. I got like gift cards. There was one with like change. This was the coolest mall ever, but this guy was out there. He's like, do you want to see the new trailer for Spider-Man 3? It has not been released yet, and give us your thoughts. I said, of course I do. So, of course, some of the special effects, like with Sandman and Venom, were not complete. It was kind of like a blank, I won't say blank canvas, because some of the shots were completed when he's inside the truck, the money truck. Those shots were complete, but like him becoming Sandman, that wasn't done. There were like these, how they do special effects. There's like codes and different things, green screen, whatever. Uh, so that also has a special place. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. Uh, Amazing Spider-Man 2 takes that title. But anyway, we're getting way off on the tangent. But the reason why Homecoming is my favorite is because I watch that constantly. Go get home from work, rough day, you pop that, there's these comfort films that each of us most likely have. So it's rewatchable. Robert Downey, the Godfather of Marvel, besides Stan Lee. I should say the Godfather of the MCU. Stan Lee's the Godfather of Marvel. He's in it. Happy Hogan. There's a great rapport there. And of course, Tom Holland as Peter Parker. And Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. Perfection. And just there's these little moments like when Tom goes for the door and I'm sorry, Robert Downey goes for the door and Peter thinks it's a hug, so they're like this awkward hug, and he's like, no, just go for the door. Just little stuff like that throughout the whole movie. Basically, they don't do an origin, which was smart, because to this point, we had the origin in Spider-Man, we had the origin in Amazing Spider-Man, and the origin was in the animated series, most of them, so we didn't need to cover that again. This was kind of like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, kind of on the ground. We had seen the sweeping shots of him flying through New York, buildings high in the air. This one was kind of more grounded, which made sense. He's still in high school, still kind of learning these abilities. And we're getting a new Disney Plus series, Spider-Man Freshman Year, that's supposed to kind of answer some of those questions, even though it's set in a different universe. It still kind of follows the same like linear or space timeline. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But kind of Robert Downey discovers him. Spider-Man goes, helps him in Civil War. This is kind of picking up right after that. He keeps the suit and kind of just does little missions. He rescues a stolen bike. He helps a lady across the street. Just like normal things. And then the great Stan Lee cameo where he webs the guy's hand onto the car because he thinks he's stealing it. He's just trying to get to work, and then Stan Lee comes out. How's your mother? How's Marjorie? So that's great. And Happy is kind of the go-between. Like, Peter contacts Happy, and then Happy obviously tells Robert Downey. So that was a neat thing. Then he builds up and wants to date this girl. Have we seen that Shredder before? No. Yeah, we've seen that one, but there's a different top. I forget exactly how it goes. And then, of course, MJ says, no, that's weird or creepy. So, kind of a new version of MJ as well, which I enjoy. Kind of a unique character, a cool character. And, all her, Ned, and Peter, their arcs grow throughout the 3 films, which is great. Great casting as well. And Tom Holland has spoken about his love for Spider-Man at an early age. Just like me, my first Spider-Man toy was 6 years old. So that's great to hear. And you can really kind of tell that in the performance too. Great performance, comes from like a gymnastics background, so he does most, I won't say most, he does a lot of his stunts. Obviously, stunt people are out there. And I just recently learned that Jackie Chan didn't do all of his own stunts at the beginning of his career, which I put in the bio they did because he said he did. Anyway, so great film, and Iron Man is kind of like the father figure or Uncle Ben figure that he needed uh, growing up. But he wants to be an Avenger right away and team up and do like these massive tasks and be part of the Avengers. And he doesn't want to go to school anymore. So he's kind of wrestling with that. And then one of the best Marvel villains we've ever seen, Killmonger, is up there. My buddy is in that Killmonger Black Panther. Wow. So he is great in that. We've met him, Killmonger, before. He was also in Fantastic, which we won't discredit him for that, and Creed. Uh, So anyway, but Michael Keaton as Vulture, a great performance, a great villain. He is kind of cleaning up after the events of Avengers, and there's this alien tech, and this government group comes in, kind of takes it away, and he has to kind of think on his feet to kind of keep his business and all these employees paid. So he turns criminal, and he has this Vulture persona with the suit, the jacket, the mask. So that's a cool way to do it, because Vulture in the comics and the series was kind of an older, like way older character in the comics, and his whole Vulture thing, I think, is so he can become younger. I think basically in a nutshell that's what Vulture used to be. But this was a great adaptation where he's kind of forced. I mean, we all have choices, but he's kind of forced to turn villain. Obviously, he could have chosen another path, but that's an interesting take to the character. And that scene when Peter goes and picks up his date, Betty Brant, right? Or I might be wrong on that comment below, because I think Betty Brant is the news anchor. But anyway, goes to pick his date up, and Michael Keaton is there, and Peter knows that that's like his arch enemy that he's been facing throughout the whole film, and Michael Keaton slowly figures out that he's Spider-Man, and then that whole ride over to the prom, like, she's oblivious obviously, but they know that one is Vulture and one is Spider-Man, and that talk at the end where they're getting out to go to the party, great. And then they recreated some stuff from the comics when he's kind of crushed by the pillars. That's a great recreation of Damage Part 1, I believe, and great character growth. And we'll obviously go on in the second film to face Mysterio, then the third, maybe final film, hopefully not, dealt with the multiverse and bringing the other Spider-Men into the fold, and all the OG villains from Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 1, 2. So those are great, but I still go back to Homecoming and watch it just because of the comedy as well as the story and the actors and actresses. Great stuff. Like, subscribe, share with a movie lover, share with a Spider-Man lover. Until next time, go out, watch Spider-Man Homecoming again, and keep collecting.